Let me tell you something that'll make your jaw hit the floor, or at least make you spit out your coffee. Unauthorized installation of a camera on a mail kiosk is a federal crime. Yeah, I didn't know that either. Honest to God, nobody tells you these things when you sign up for a mortgage or move into a neighborhood run by a homeowners association. But I'll tell you what, I didn't know isn't much of a defense when it comes to the feds. And ignorance sure didn't save Karen, our HOA president, the day I caught her crawling around inside our mail kiosk at 5 in the freaking morning. Let me back up a sec. I was heading out for an early shift, bleary-eyed, driving with my thermos half-lidded between my knees. I turned the corner, headlights sweeping across the little tin shed where our mailboxes sit. And there she is, Karen, in a ratty bathrobe, flip-flops, hair wild in a bun, crouched inside that kiosk like a raccoon caught in the act. Honest, for a heartbeat, we both just froze, staring each other down like some low-budget horror movie. Me and my Civic, her clutching a screwdriver or a flashlight or something she tried to hide behind her back. Then, in a blink, she jumps up, nearly smacks her head on the ceiling, slams the metal door, and throws on the fakest smile I've ever seen. "Oh, just inspecting." She waves me off like I'm the one being weird. "Go on, you're late." And like an absolute fool, I did. I drove off, but my mind stayed right there, stuck on that image, her poking around in the mail shed before sunrise. Inspecting what? For what? It just didn't sit right. Next day, weird things start happening. Little stuff at first, folks complaining their packages never showed, or they got opened, then taped back shut. My neighbor Mrs. Lopez, she swore up and down she saw a big white parcel in her box at noon, came back at 3, and poof, gone. Same thing with Tom across the street. Amazon box slid open, then retaped like some toddler had a go at it. Then, just to make it official, we all get an email from, you guessed it, Karen. It's all formal. Dear residents, with a warning, there's been suspicious activity at the mail kiosk, so from now on, the area will be closely monitored for your safety. She signs it with that ironclad, don't mess with me, flourish. If anyone tampers with federal property, you will be reported. I read that and just about lost it. I mean the gall. I hadn't touched a thing, but I'd seen her in there, slinking around like a possum. About a week later, I find out exactly what she was up to. I went to grab my mail one evening, sky turning pink, birds getting loud, and I noticed this tiny black dot under the roof beam, right near the ceiling. At first, I thought it was just a knot in the wood, but it caught the light. I got on my tiptoes, pulled out my phone, flicked the flashlight on, and my stomach dropped right out of me. It was a camera. One of those dime-sized spy cameras you see in bad late-night ads, wedged up under the trim, angled perfectly at all our mailboxes. The thing even had a wire sneaking through a crack in the wood. I swear, my heart was pounding so hard you could probably hear it echo off the metal. That camera was staring right at us, watching folks pick up their mail, packages, everything. Our names, addresses, our routines, every single move, logged somewhere. "Hey, you okay?" That was Jake, my next-door neighbor, walking up with his mail key. I just pointed up at the roof. "You see that?" He squints, then mutters a word my mom would smack me for. "Dude, that's a camera." We stood there a long second, just listening to the low electric hum. It felt like someone was already watching us, right that second. We took photos, close-ups, wide shots, every angle. Jake wanted to yank it down, but I stopped him. "If we touch it," I said, "she'll say we broke it. We got to report this." That night, I sat at my kitchen table, hands still shaking, and emailed the whole board, photos, everything. I explained what I saw that morning, the missing packages, the camera aimed right at our mailboxes. I asked who installed it, why we weren't told. Not a single board member replied. But next day, Karen herself comes back at me. Security measures are in place due to theft. The camera is not your concern. Do not touch HOA property, or we will fine you. Fine me for noticing. I tried talking to neighbors. Some are steaming mad, some just scared. "She's nuts," one whispered. "But she's the president. I can't have drama. I'm already behind on my dues." Jake and I decided to go to the next HOA meeting, just lay it out in public. When our turn came, I stood up, my phone shaking in my hand, and showed the photos. "There's a camera hidden in the mail kiosk." "Who put it there?" "What?" Karen didn't even blink. Just leaned forward, smile so tight it could have cracked glass. That is an HOA security device. Fully legal. If you're not stealing, you shouldn't be worried. Next, the board just nodded along like bobbleheads in a car. That's when it hit me. These people weren't going to do a thing. If I wanted this to stop, I needed someone Karen couldn't bully or threaten. Someone higher. So I did what she never saw coming. I called the Postal Inspection Service. Didn't even know they existed, but after some late-night Googling, I found out they're the ones who handle mail crimes. I sent them everything, photos, emails, even the dumb threats Karen wrote. I told them about the missing packages. The inspector on the phone was calm, almost too calm. She asked questions. Who installed it? Was it inside or outside? Did anyone give permission? Could the camera record folks opening their mail? When I said yes to that last one, the tone shifted. "Thank you for telling us," she said. "We may need to visit your property. Please don't tell the HOA about this call." "Don't worry, I wasn't planning to." For a few days, nothing happened. Karen strutted around, clipboard in hand, sending out another email, reminding us that tampering with the camera was a federal offense. The irony almost made me choke. Then one sunny Tuesday, just as folks were getting home, this white car with a blue eagle logo rolls into the cul-de-sac. U.S. Postal Inspection Service. The inspector who steps out is all business, sharp, quiet, with another officer by her side, both flashing badges. Karen sees them, and you could feel the air shift. Neighbors stopped in their tracks. People peeked out from their porches. Jake nudged me, whispered, "You told them, right?" I just kept my face as plain as a piece of white bread. Karen walks up, syrupy sweet. "Can I help you?" she asks. The inspector doesn't bother with pleasantries. "We're here about the camera in your mail kiosk." You could hear a pin drop. The inspector and her partner head straight for the shed. "Look up, take pictures, point to the cable." "Who installed this?" the inspector asks. Karen, still putting on airs, says the HOA did. "I approved it as president. We had to do something about the theft." The inspector doesn't blink. "Did you get written permission from the United States Postal Service? Or from the property owner of this kiosk?" Karen goes all wide-eyed. "I'm the property owner. I'm the HOA president." The inspector's face is stone. "Ma'am, being HOA president doesn't make you the owner of federal mailboxes. You cannot surveil individuals at their mailboxes without proper authorization. This may be a violation of federal law." At that point, every jaw on the street dropped. Folks whipped out their phones. I counted at least 5 neighbors filming. This was better than Judge Judy. Karen's voice went high, shaky. "I was just trying to protect the community. We've had theft. People should be thanking me." The inspector went through it, step by step, in front of everyone, explained how mail privacy works, how serious it is to interfere with mail, how you can't intimidate folks picking up their mail. And then, they said it, "We may need to recommend charges. At minimum, you'll need to remove this device immediately. We'll also need the recording device and any footage you've collected." Karen went pale. "The footage?" she squeaked. "Every second of it," the inspector replied. Now, everyone was filming. One kid whispered, "She's going to jail," like it was the Super Bowl. Karen tried to argue, but it came out as panicked gibberish about problem neighbors and people not following rules. The inspector cut her off. "This isn't about HOA rules. This is about federal law." They followed the cable to a lockbox behind the kiosk. Inside was a DVR, still warm. The inspector bagged it up like a crime scene on TV. Over the next week, the whole thing unraveled. Emergency HOA meeting. This time, Karen wasn't at the head table. Someone else, hands shaking, announced she was removed as president pending investigation. Barred from contacting residents about HOA business. The rumors went wild. Some said she got fined. Others said she might actually get charged. I don't know the end of that part yet, but here's what I do know. She stopped walking around with her clipboard. The email stopped. Her face disappeared from the neighborhood. The camera, the cable, all of it gone. And for the first time in months, people actually laughed at the mail kiosk. No more whispers, no more side eyes. Jake slapped me on the shoulder, grinning. "You started this, you know." I just shrugged, but inside I felt this deep, satisfying calm. I didn't rip anything down, didn't yell, didn't threaten. I just found someone above her petty power and let the law do its thing. Now, when I check my mail, I don't feel watched. I feel safe. And every time I see that empty spot where the camera used to be, I remember the look on her face when the inspector said, "Charges." So let me ask you, do you think she got what she deserved, or did she get off too easy? Drop your thoughts below. Tell me your wildest HOA story. And hit that subscribe if you want more tales of justice served, mailbox style.